Hey guys, welcome to Anjanette Speaks. I am your host, Anjanette Wilson. I am so elated to be with you on today. We are talking about something on today that is very near and dear to my heart. As some of you may know, I am a mental health advocate, as I have been pretty open about my struggle with mental illness and how it came about and all this. And I'm still discovering some things. Okay. So, as I walk through this journey with people that really don't want to talk about it, I kind of became a voice. In 2019, I started taking medication and I made this whole YouTube channel about it. And then after that, it just kind of picked up. And then I made a post about taking your meds on a consistent basis about 3 weeks ago. And the CEO of Endure Entertainment found me, Miss Falana. Yay. So let's give Endure Entertainment a round of applause. All right, isn't that great? So, round of applause for me, round of applause for them, and we are streaming on 3 or 4 different platforms right now. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we are on Endure Entertainment's YouTube. If you would be so grateful to like and share this information, share this broadcast, I would be greatly appreciated. Give me one moment. Let me do some stuff myself. I'm moderating, making sure that I am on my own page. Because people going to say, well, how do I find it? Okay. So we live, y'all. We live. Like and share, comment. Okay. We're gonna look in the comments and see what's going on. So I have been reading up on a lot of information in reference to pastors committing suicide. And that is what this edition is going to be about. We are going to talk about depression in the pastoral world. That is very important, and they don't get to talk about it. So let me ask you something. This is like a really hot topic now. We have had several pastors commit suicide by record numbers. Mega pastors, okay? Pastors of mega churches that have committed suicide in the last, say, 2 years, okay? We've got Darren Patrick, rest in peace, brother. We've got Andrew Stockton, rest in peace. Jared Wilson, rest in peace. And that's just in the 2020 and 2019. Pastors of mega churches. We've got people that do praise and worship, people that are intercessors, people that are doing major things and pushing hope and faith and all of these positive things, the teaching the fruits of the spirit. They're doing all these positive things. Why do you think that they are suffering from depression at record numbers? It has been praise.com, reading an article. That's just one of them. We're talking about the statistics, and the statistics are saying, and the CDC says that pastors are more than 50% more likely than their regular community members to commit suicide. So 5.5 of every 100,000 people will commit suicide and complete to completion. On a pastoral level, it's 11.1. That's a lot of people per 100,000. Pastors are in a vulnerable place. They are expected to be perfect. They are expected to have all the parts and of their humanity in check. They are expected to know God in some special way that other people don't know God. They are expected to know every word in the Bible. They are expected to read, understand, and interpret for their own life. They are expected to manage your life. They are expected to manage their children's life. They are expected to be this perfect role model for society. So, like my pastor, Pastor Larry Thompson says, my father in the gospel, he says, how do you handle life? How do pastors handle life when depression hits their doorstep? How do pastors handle life when the spirit of suicide comes and sits right next to them? How do pastors handle life when life has got grip on them? How do they handle life? Well, I'll tell you that 70% of pastors have said that they've admitted that they only read the word in order to study. 72% of pastors have said that they resent the position they have, that they resent their yes because it impacted their family dynamic. Another 70% of the pastors said that they get lonely. Who does your pastor have to talk to? Who can he talk to? He can't talk to you. He can't talk to regular people. Then because he's the leader, and I think we have this wrong, but we'll get into that later. He's the leader. He's up here and he doesn't go through anything, and he's teaching you how to get up there with him. How do you handle life when you're the one teaching prosperity and faith and hope, when you the hope pusher and you need hope, when you're the encourager but you get encouraging? How do you handle that? Who's talking to your pastor? Who's really praying for your pastor? Are you praying for your pastor? Did you know that pastors get lonely? Who are their friends? They got the good old boy team. You got and it's weird because when I think of San Antonio, that's where I'm at. You got these clusters of pastors that hang together. But they not being honest with each other about what's going on in their life. They not. They don't have nobody to be human with. Pastors are human too. They go through human emotions too. Pastors have sex and they not married. They men, they women, they have sex. Yes, they do. I don't want to hear it because I'm not saying it's an excuse or whatever, but they human people. They get their heart broken. Pastors cry when some people leave. Pastors cry when people lie on them. Sometimes pastors lie on people. Sometimes pastors are dishonest. They are human beings. God called them in their imperfection to do a perfect work. Who do your pastor talk to? Who is your pastor's confidant? How do we, as the church and as the body of Christ, how do we improve this situation to the point where your pastor is comfortable going to somebody? What do we do? How does that happen? What do we need to do? What do you think would be something that we could do so that your pastor, my pastor, others' pastors could be able to talk to somebody about their real feelings? Pastors need friends. And see, here's the thing about friends and pastoralship. You never want to confide in the wrong person and be in charge of 300 people, 100 people. The minute that person gets mad at you, what do? Go telling all your business and telling somebody what you say. Oh yeah, but she said this about you, and I've seen it happen. So not only that, but they don't have anybody that they can trust. Nobody in their immediate circle. Because, baby, most of these people would love for your members to come to their church and you not have no members. That's cool too. They call that hating. I'm just saying that, it is what it is. It's a business move at the end of the day. I got a better situation than you. How could you be up under that pastor? How could you support this? How could you do this? I mean, really. But pastors are human, y'all. They go through divorce. We expect a pastor to preach through his heartbreak. What should pastors do? One, I'm going to tell you. This is just my humble opinion. I think that pastors should use their train and use their ministers more. I do. I think they need to get out of this "it's my showtime" type thing. It's showtime. I got a word from the Lord. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you need that word. You the one that needs to be ministered to. We need to do this different. And there needs to be a common ground where pastors get the word too. Because they need the word too. Another thing, they said that 70% of pastors are saying that they don't pray. They don't study the word unless it's Sunday night, Saturday night, Friday night when they're preparing for a message, Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever their Bible study is. I encourage you. I know for me, it helped me. And there were times that I was so down, I didn't want to read the Bible. Like I was like, But when you get to the place, see, this is the thing. Suicide isn't a place that you come to. Like, I'm not a doctor, okay? But I'm just saying from experience. Suicide isn't the first thing you think about. It's the level of sadness and the hopelessness that you get to a place where you feel like living this life and being on this side of earth, of this side of heaven, you are no longer needed. The devil has convinced you. Life has convinced you. People around you have convinced you. The guilt has convinced you. The problems in your marriage has convinced you. Public scrutiny has convinced you that instead of facing and being courageous and facing whatever comes your way, that you'd rather die than get talked about. You'd rather die than be sat down. You'd rather die than have some bishop or apostle or prophet come to your house and sit you down for a year, 6 months, 3 months until you get yourself together. You'd rather die than take a sabbatical. You'd rather die than admit that you're human, because then you're worried about what other people think. Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn? You a human being. And once some of y'all realize that you are human, it ain't showtime every Sunday. Sometimes you need to let your ministers preach. That's what they're there for. Why you think God sent you all these ministers and you don't never see them preaching? Sit down sometime. Get you a word. And the other pastor said that they really don't pray. I think we church too much. We there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. You there all day long. You eating there, you sleeping there. You need a break. If you're at the church, you need to be at the altar. How many of y'all that go to mega churches, how many of you have seen your pastor laid out and praying? How many of you go to churches with 100 people, 200-300 people? Have you ever seen your pastor laid out praying on the altar? Even when y'all at the church, he don't lock up, she don't lock up at the church and go pray at the altar? Maybe people with 100, 30 people. I can see that. When you get to managing so many different people, you so busy doing so many different things on the business aspect, we forget to tend to the spiritual aspect of church. And that's when the little foxes creep in. And that's when the pressure, pastors are under so much pressure by themselves. When they become a name and a household name and they mainstream and all this stuff, their family begins to be in jeopardy. Their children have to act a certain way. If you see the pastor's kids acting crazy, what you gonna say? Oh, ain't that so-and-so's kids? Oh, that show is what he doing? Nothing. Because he's tending to your kids. Nothing. They don't know a scripture because he ain't doing Bible study with them. He too busy doing Bible study with you. Nothing. I challenge you. Get you a prayer life. Understand that depression hits everybody. It don't care. It doesn't have a preference. It doesn't have, it's not prejudice. It go to white people, black people, everything. Depression and suicide don't care if you got a mega church. It don't care if you got 3 members. It don't care. You are the hope pusher. You are pushing people to their destiny. You are under attack. In a mega church? Oh, shoot. You don't have no time. Let's just be honest. Ain't nobody judging you. I don't know you. You don't know me. You don't have the time. You don't have the time. Meet God every day in the same place for 90 days. I promise you, it will get better. See a therapist. I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, we are going to talk about therapy. Talk psychotherapy. Why is it good and how it helps. This is Anjanette Speaks. All right, we was having a little technical difficulty. I couldn't get it to turn on. All right, now on Facebook we got a couple of comments. It's saying speak. Seems like some people are agreeing with what I am saying. Listen, this is the real deal. We've got people in the Bible that went through depression. Elijah felt depressed. Uh, Job, he got everything taken from him. Sometimes depression is situational, and he got everything stripped from him. And at some point, he felt like, oh my God, what is happening to me? There are many scriptures in the Bible where you could see David was going through it, man. He'd be like, God, why you let these people, gave me over to my enemies. And then he like, I just feel so distressed. Why have you left me? Where you at? And then he like, okay, here I am. He's back. You know what I mean? So I think we need to really understand that pastors are human, y'all, and they have human emotions, human feelings, and that they need somebody to talk to. So here's the thing about talking. I began therapy and went kicking and screaming about 2 months ago. It is amazing. You get to talk to somebody that doesn't judge you. This person doesn't care that you a minister, a prophet, or whatever you are. To them, you are a human being that is having human emotions. Simple. There's someone that can sort things out for you in your that happened in your childhood, or what's happening in your ministry, or what's happening in your marriage, and you're nobody. And guess what? They don't even want to speak to you when you in public. They are a purposeful friend. Your therapist can be your best friend if you dare to reach out and talk to somebody. See, this is the thing. You got to come off your high horse. The Bible says sometimes you can be so high-minded you ain't no earthly good. And sometimes I believe that pastors and ministers and prophets and evangelists and everybody that's so titled up in ministry, I think we have an issue with admitting that we are having some human emotions. And while locking up in your closet and praying to God is the best thing for your spirituality, I'm telling you right now, doing that coupled with going to see a counselor, it will change your life. It will change your life. There are a few things that I want to give you now. It has been COVID. I call it Evangelist COVID, Evangelist Corona. She has made it to where now people are on your phone. You can talk to a therapist just like I'm talking to you, and they can be somewhere else. My therapist lives in Dallas. So now we have a slew of stuff that we usually, you got to worry about if somebody going to see you. I remember being in a place and someone saw me, and I tried to play like I was there for a client because I didn't want nobody to know, right? And that's what shied me away from trying to get help, because I was like, I can't even go nowhere. Everybody know me, they gonna see me. And that's what we worried about. And I get it, because people, they tell us, if you are the leader, you can't be seen going through nothing in public, because then the lay members are gonna say, well, if you going through it, then I ain't no hope for me. And that's not true. The lay members want to see you handle it. The lay members want to know that when you up here, it's the same rent that got to be paid, the same mortgage, and the same crazy kids acting crazy as it is in the pulpit. They act like they got something to just act like everything is so perfect. They're getting cheated on, beat up. I know one ministry, I'm like, this woman don't even like this man. For real. They don't even like each other. But you leading the people, and you leading the people broken, your marriage broken, your kids crazy, your household out of order, but you leading people, and God charged you, so you gonna do it. Sit your tail down, get you some help so you can help deliver some people for real and quit playing with it. It's no knock on your ego to take a break. You a human. Jesus took a break. You telling me you better than Jesus? Get you some ministers that can preach. Teach them to preach. Teach them to minister so that people can preach. And listen, you can take a break, sir, ma'am. Take a break. Sit down. Nobody needs to know what you're going through. That's what your therapist is for. Your members don't need to know what you're going through. Your members have no business in your personal life, because they are not at the place where they can handle your humanity. I said something right there. That's the main reason why I didn't never get close to any of my pastors, because I knew myself, I can't handle your humanity, right? So you might get cut off and cussed. And my immaturity back then, I didn't expect no pastor to be cussing. And I expected them to have a certain way that they did things. But guess what? When I became a minister, I realized real quick that yeah, that's not how this works. They got a household just like you. They got crazy kids just like you. They got crazy parents and issues with their daddy and mama just like you. They need to work that stuff out just like you. The same very thing that they telling you to do, most of them don't do it. 70% of them that already said they don't do it. Because they too busy making sure your life is good, but their life is jacked up. And they feel like it's because of the devil. No, sir. It's because we don't have ourselves together and we have not done the things that we're telling these people to do. So now you got the lay members that can see through your mess. Now they done got discernment and now they can see what's going on with you. You got to take care of yourself naturally. Sonder mind. Sonder mind. Google it. Sonder. Sonder mind. I'm going to do something for you so you can know what I'm talking about. It's called Sonder mind. Awesome. 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 I'm telling y'all, it is the best. The best. It is the best. I'm telling you what. Sonder mind. Thank you, Miss Haynes. Thank you. I don't want to say your name wrong. Diljean. Thank you. Listen. Sondermind, Sondermind. You got the cerebell. If y'all need to get you some insurance or something, okay? They got free services. And I'm going to encourage you psychologists and you Christian counselors that's going for Christian counseling, y'all need to set up something that is for pastors where they can be human. Hell, let them drink a beer and talk to you. They need to be human. Po things, they just walking around like they supernatural. And that's why they blowing their brains out their head. Can you imagine having all that pressure, being responsible for 500 people and having marital issues? 5,000 folks, and you having a serious problem with your kids, or you depressed, and all the pressures of life are getting to you. You can't talk to nobody because all they gonna say is you a pastor. You ain't got it together now. And you wonder why. It breaks my heart. I'm telling you, every time I see a pastor blow his brains out, I cry. Because I understand. And they didn't have nobody they can be real with. But I'm going to tell you right now, all over the world, my name is Anjanette Wilson. I am on Facebook. Hit me up. I check my messages all the time. If you need to sit down and have a margarita on Zoom, we doing it. I will listen to you cry and weep before I bury you, before I read that I've had to bury you. I will listen. I'm not a psychologist, but I can point you to some. I got friends that are some. I'm telling you, I will reach out. Reach out to me. Reach out to somebody that would allow you to be human. Cerebell. And then here's another one. So we have the National NAMI. It's all over the world. It's a National Association of Mental Illness. Okay. NAMI, you can call them if you are suicidal. Now, I understand how hard it is to admit that you're suicidal, but don't admit it to your family. You don't have to admit it to your friends. You can talk to a stranger. Sometimes strangers care more. Sometimes the people that save your life don't have your same DNA. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a number and I'm going to try to let's talk. There's all kinds of lines for you're going to do your crisis centers. Here's the helpline for they got the National Suicide Helpline. You've got the National Talk Helpline. Let me see. We got Text Connect, where you can text somebody if you're in a crisis. And what I want to do is give you some information that will help you. Because we have got to get to a place where we are real. I challenge you to get to a place where you're real. Let's look at this. Listen, text, write this down. 741 741 24-hour help for anxiety. All right? Which is all that, the anxiety, depression, all of that stuff. I made and I'm doing this right online too. Crisis talk line 24/7. Okay. Write this down. 844-549-4266. That's 844-549-4266. If you need any information, there's I'm gonna see if I can get a therapist online for the next couple of times we come. Because I want the pastors that may hear this, the ministers, the prophets, the evangelists. I want you to know that I will talk to you. I will listen. You can cuss, you can holler, you can scream, you can cry. If I need to, I'll come to you. If I can drive there, if I just have to listen, please reach out. Please find you somebody that'll allow you to be human. Please find you somebody that'll let you lay down the mantle, that'll let you lay down the responsibility, that'll let you lay down all of the stuff that makes you, your title. Put that all to the side and you can just be you and just talk about what that human is feeling, what that human is experiencing. I have never heard someone speak so much truth. It helps more people to fully understand. Thank you so much. Listen, that's why I'm here. Because I'm going to shake some stuff up. Satan been mad at me for a long time. He been trying to shut this big mouth, Miss Carter. He been trying to shut my mouth. But we going to understand. So when you listen, stop telling your pastor, I'm praying for you. You a lie. You a damn lie. You ain't praying. You ain't praying. Because if you was praying, you'd be under attack. You ain't praying. You're lying. Pray for your pastor. If you have a pastor in your life, pray for your pastor. Pray for intercede for your pastor. Go to war. You ain't got to have no title of a head evangelist and a head of the intercessory prayer team. And you ain't got to have that title. You don't need it. Everybody has access to God and everybody can pray. I want you to pray. I want you to pray for your pastor. I want you to pray for your leaders. I want you to pray for the ministers. I want you to pray for their humanity. I want you to pray that they're not so high-minded that they don't get help. I want you to pray. I want you to pray. I want you to pray. I am at 30 minutes and I think that I'm done. I think I have all my notes and I have went through them all. I appreciate you guys taking your time out on a Saturday to be with me, to talk about something that's so important, to talk about something that is plaguing our community. How would you feel if your pastor committed suicide? How would you feel? Is there something you could have done? Could you be less judgmental? Could you have done a lot less gossiping about their humanity? To the pastors that may be listening, to the evangelists that may be listening, to the prophets that may be listening, meet God in the closet every day at the same time as much as you possibly can. He will balance out the imbalance. I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. So many of us have suffered in silence because Sunday is showtime and there's no time for you. My name is Ann Jeanette Wilson. I am on Facebook. you can inbox me. I will talk to you. I will give you my number. We can go through this together. I will get in my closet with you. I said it before and I'm going to say it again before I leave. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. I'm not going to even address, whether you got faith or not. That's not even an issue. In your humanity, you've experienced some things that has caused you to be depressed, that has caused you to question God, that has caused you to search out for who you are and get lost in the whole thing. And I'm sorry. But please, I'm begging you, before you take yourself away from your family, before you feel worthless and not needed in life, before you decide that on this side of heaven, your assignment is done prematurely, reach out. Talk to a therapist. Do it in secret. Fight in private like you suffer in private. God will reward you publicly. This has been Anjanette Speaks. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for taking out your time. God bless you. Let me find the banner here.